you gorgeous donuts. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into Jojo Siwa's rebrand. If you don't know who Jojo Siwa is, she was a child star turned influencer who first rose to fame through the TV show Dance Moms, where she would get screamed at for a living at a young age.
I'm in a hotel room in a scary movie, just...
No, we're not gonna do it. I'm not gonna have her be scared for the next 6 months because she watched the movie you wanted her to watch. Like, we did the dance, we watched the trailer, I told her what it was about.
Jojo, Christ, will you just watch the Insidiouses, please? I know you're only 10 years old, but Christ, love, man up.
Can you put her picture back up? She deserves to be on the pyramid. She was in the group dance.
She deserves nothing. Don't have an attitude that you are entitled in this world. You are not.
This is actually mental. Like, I don't know how old she is here. She looks like younger than 10 and she's just getting told to her face, you deserve nothing, you prick. Oh my god. The dance teacher kind of reminds us of that auntie that, you know, you don't see often because of this reason. You just kind of see her at Christmas where she gets too pissed and has to leave.
You can't stand here and cry. I want no crying children.
Well, if you yell at me, I'm gonna cry.
Get out.
Okay, so straight away, if you don't know who Jojo is, you can see she stands up for herself. Okay, she's got a little bit of attitude.
Jojo! Have you learned nothing?
Oh, you know when people kind of say, why do child stars grow up with issues? This is the reason. Because they're getting screamed at by adults for no reason. Genuinely, if I was Jojo's age in this clip and got screamed at like that, I would cry for days. Like, I wouldn't leave my bedroom for days. I would be a broken man. A broken boy. I would be calling the RSPCA. Wait, no, they're the adult. No, I wouldn't be calling them because they would be like, well, why the fuck you calling us? We're for animals, mate. So I'd just be fucked, I guess. And on this show, it was like hammered down into her that she has to care about her image at all times.
I have been dyeing my hair since I was like 2, maybe 1.5. I'm not a natural blonde. I'm actually a natural brown. I get brown roots, so I have to dye it so it looks like I'm a natural blonde.
Why do you have to do that? You're a child. Why do you care? Your primary school teacher isn't going, look at that little faker. She thinks she's a natural blonde, does she? The bloody pillock. Why are you dyeing your hair at 1 year old? That's gonna ruin your hair follicles. And the reason I've set the video up like this and showed you that Jojo's had to care about her image is because she's currently going through an image rebrand. And the entire internet is losing their marbles over it. So as many of you will know, Jojo built her brand off looking like this. Like very large bows, very like cheesy, very bright colours, like very kid friendly. I mean, she had cupcakes on her skirt. How more wholesome can you get? However, in a serious turn of events, this is now what Jojo looks like after her rebrand.
I got a question. You could have one heaven phone call. This is a random heaven phone call, okay? Nothing.
What the fuck? Now I know what you're thinking. Why does Jake Paul look like he's changed his pronouns? You'd be forgiven for thinking that, but she isn't fighting Mike Tyson anytime soon, hopefully. She kind of looks like the bully at like a bowling alley. Do you know what I mean? Like, she'd come up to you and go, damn man, you playing with the rails up? Are you a pussy or something? Like, she looks like she would bring her own custom bowling ball to the alley. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Unserious heaven phone call. Who are you calling? Personally, I'm calling the people in the Titanic submarine. The situation, the submersible, that whole thing. I'm calling them.
I feel like there's the words are coming out, but nothing's registering. Registering. God, it's turning my brain to mush. It's like going in this ear and coming out there. I'm like trying to catch it and it come back. A lot of people have been saying that she looks like Joe Exotic, which I kind of see it. I can't lie. Like, it kind of makes sense. Someone even said she looks like John Cena, which I don't get because obviously nobody's ever seen John Cena, so that's a little bit of a weird comment. Someone said she even looks like Ric Flair. Like, I'm gonna show you a photo of Ric Flair right now. Do you know what? Why do I kind of see? Oh, Jojo's just going to be walking around just seeing at employees and going, woo! That's a WWE joke for all the nerds out there. Now, if you were eagle-eyed, you see that she has a lot of tattoos on her right arm, and you might be thinking, well, what is the meaning behind these tattoos? Well, she explained the deep connotations of them in a recent interview she did.
You've already named your children?
Fully.
Really?
I actually have 2 tattoos dedicated to them. This one's dedicated to my baby girl one day. Her name is Freddie. Then this is dedicated to twin boys, Eddie and Teddy.
Sorry, like, it's kind of cringe, I can't lie. Freddie, Eddie and Teddy. Yeah, well, they're definitely not going to get bullied at school, so we can all rule that one out. Why does that sound like Ed, and Eddie? Is one of them going to carry a plank round with them? What's going on here? Are they all going to be stoners? See, I feel like, you know, if Jojo has kids, let's say, like, when she's 25, 30, I feel like she's going to change. I can't lie. I can't imagine she's actually going to call her kids Freddie, Eddie, and Teddy. I just can't see that. Like, don't famous people, they call their kids, like, weirder names than that. They don't give them normal names. They call them, like, the Oracle of the Sun, or, like, X. Like, that's what famous people just do. They don't call them Freddie. What are we gonna do? Split up and search for clues?
Freddie, Eddie, and Teddy, I want 3 babies. I have my sperm donor lined up.
Wait, where's the sperm donor?
You already got it lined up.
What does she mean the sperm donor is lined up? Are we taking this like on a literal level? Is the sperm donor like on a wall somewhere with a gun to their head? What do you mean you've got them lined up? Is someone just got like a constant like pod scope on them? I'm kind of worried about this, Jojo. Imagine you knowing that you're giving the seed for Jojo's kids in like 5 years. I don't know if I could carry that weight. After I saw this video, I would pull out, like, literally. I'd be like, what, my sperm's gonna be called Freddie, Eddie, and Teddy? I'm out of this one. I thought that my sperm was gonna be called the Oracle Love. But unfortunately for us, all of these tattoos are in fact fake. As Jojo posted TikToks like 2 weeks after this interview, and she literally had bare arms, so she clearly just had her tattoos on for temporary use. I don't know how I'm gonna sleep tonight knowing that Jojo Siwa has fake tattoos. I'm gonna have to tell the kids. They're gonna be upset. They're gonna be bloody bawling their eyes out. But you might be thinking, why has Jojo done this? Like, why is she gone from like this child star who like used to dress dead friendly, used to dress like dead marketable, to this bawling bully image she's now got? Well, she's actually releasing an album for adults to listen to, and I use that term very lightly, but she's trying to change her target audience. And the way she's promoted this it's kind of just outrageous. Just before we proceed with this video, please make sure you press subscribe with notifications on. The donuts are growing every single day. We're getting stronger, so join the movement, because you'll have loads more videos to binge watch when you're bored. And anyway, let's get back to the video.
Warning. The following content is not made for children and may be disturbing or offensive to some viewers. May contain sexual themes, violence, strong language, dramatic scenarios, and flashing lights.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, but what do you mean? If you're gonna market yourself to adults, don't do a trigger warning for traumatic scenarios. Like, what does that even mean? That could mean anything. Like, that's not a trigger warning at all. Just anything traumatic. For me, I feel like if you're going to do a rebrand where you want to shock people, part of the element of shock is just posting it, right? It takes people by surprise. That's like an alert in their brain where it's like, wait, what the fuck is this? When you put out posts like this where you're doing warnings, it makes people's expectations go to here. Like, it makes it go so high so that when you post it, even if it is quite shocking, people have to come down in their expectations, so it's not actually as shocking as you're trying to make it out to be. Whereas if people have no warning, their expectations are down there, so the shock seems a lot higher. You know what this reminds us of? It's like, you know, if your mum started like TikTok and, you know, she was really going for it, and every single TikTok she posted, you were like, and she was like, oh, do you think me TikTok's good? You're like, yeah, it's great. She gives such boomer millennial energy. I said this in the video I did on my Reacts channel where I was reacting to her TikToks. Like, I can't believe that she's Gen Z. She doesn't seem like she's part of the same generation as me. It just doesn't compute. Also, we get a little sneak viewing of our Tesla, which is wrapped with her face, which is really cool, guys. Next time you get your new car, make sure that you wrap it with your face, just so people know it's yours. I've done it in my Suzuki Swift. Honestly, the amount of times I get stopped.
What I truly enjoy about this comment is absolutely no one does. No one knows what's happening. No one knows what's going on. I do. I know what's happening. Nobody else.
You just know with all of this promotion, okay, if you're putting this much marketing into it, which she actually is doing a good job of, because a lot of people are talking about it, the actual product at the end, it has to hit. Because the expectations are so high that you have to deliver. Otherwise, it's going to be a massacre. I guess people are interested because this has blew up, but one thing I do find interesting with influencers is they think that we're so invested into their lives, like, you know, the top level celebrity influencers. They think like we are like riding and dying for these people, whereas in reality most of us kind of just want to like see it and then go. Like, we're not that bothered. We just want to know what you're talking about because you're leading us on here. This is Jojo like crying after having a meeting with her management about the upcoming album.
You're fucking lying. Oh, fuck.
So yeah, clearly not playing up to the cameras. That's what we love. Dead natural. She showed her crying, guys. That's relatable. I cry. I'm just like Jojo Siwa. To be fair, she's right. She didn't think twice what that pose would do to us. She's such a bad girl. Look at the way she's sitting on that ledge. Oh. She's like one of those kids that wait outside the shop hoping that someone's gonna buy them some tabs. That would be amazing if the announcement after all this promotion was Jojo Siwa was gonna spend a week in Birmingham or a week in Newcastle. I would love that. Just Jojo Siwa outside of Londis just fighting for her life. There's a TV show in that. So as I said, Jojo is doing all this promotion, this rebrand in anticipation of releasing her album, and she has actually released released the music video for our first single off the album, which I have reacted to in full on my Reacts channel if you want to go and watch this video after this one. And the entire image of it is her trying to be a bad girl. Like, for instance, in one part of the music video, she like physically dry humps another member of the cast. I need to go and fuck. I'm gonna need to wash my eyes out. I could have went my entire life without seeing Jojo Siwa do the Kama Sutra on someone. Christ, that is outrageous. Jesus. I hope the lady in red got the right amount of therapy she needed after this. Look at the way she is literally posing here. She's like, I'm just gonna close my eyes, just wait until this is over. They're on a desert island as well, so there's no help. Imagine being stuck on a desert island just with Jojo Siwa. Jeez. And the first thing she decides to do is dry hump you. That's you, finished. Some people have said that Jojo is going through like her humiliation ritual to join the Illuminati, and I just can't imagine what that feeling must be like for Jojo. Like, she's seriously trying to rebrand herself and people genuinely think she's going through a humiliation ritual. That must be so disheartening. I just want to take a little deeper look into some of the lyrics on this song, Karma. I was a bad girl, I did some bad things. Jojo, what did you do, love? What bad things has Jojo Siwa really done? Has she left the washing in for 2 days so it gets a little bit too feisty? I feel like that's the pinnacle of Jojo doing something bad. Did she not tip a Deliveroo driver? Some people don't do that. That's alright, doesn't make you too bad. I want to know what she did, because she repeats this line loads of times in the song, so she's clearly done something. What happens if she was the one that stole Madeleine McCann? Was she alive then? Could she have done that? We don't know. Just putting her name in the hat, guys. You never know. Another late night, another crazy mood. Kind of relatable. Kind of reminds me when I decide to do like a big Tesco trip at 12 AM. Just feeling a little bit frisky, guys. Might go and get some chocolate buttons. I was a wild child. You always knew it. Did we? Jojo, I never really looked at you as a wild child. I just thought you were a little bit odd. Wild? Really? To me, wild is like going to the local park, drinking Frosty Jacks, doing some bubble, and just getting off your tits. I can't imagine you were doing that. For some reason, I don't feel like you were that kind of girl. It was a matter of time before I blew it. That reminds me of being 14 doing balloons. If you know, you know. Thou shalt not lie. Thou shalt not cheat. Thou shalt not get caught, or you'll end up just like me. Which is a biblical reference, because we all know that Jojo Siwa is a prophet sent from God. But instead of saving our sins, she's actually doing all the sinning for us. She's literally taking all of the sins on her back. Karma's a bitch. I should have known better. I said this in my Reacts video, but Karma's a bitch is the chorus to this song. She repeats it quite often, being the chorus, and I feel like this is just what you'd see on a Primark t-shirt, right? Or like a H&M t-shirt. You know, you go into one of those stores, you're like, oh my god, the colour of that t-shirt is a... Karma's a bitch is all over it. I'll just put that back on the rack. You know what I mean? If I had a wish, I would have never effed around. Obviously, Jojo hasn't swore here. She said F. But in her disclaimer, she put out that we need to be warned for like triggers because there was sexual scenes, because there was traumatic experiences, and she won't even swear in her own song. Do you see what I mean? Like the rebrand isn't rebranding. Like, she's not fully going for it. She's kind of like just dipping her toe into it just in case it doesn't work, so then she can just go back to wearing bows and stuff. But yeah, many of the lyrics of the song, they're very like capital FM vibes, very bass layer. They don't really say anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't really learn anything about Jojo, really. It's very just performative in my opinion, very bass layer, nothing really beneath the surface. Jojo has said that this rebrand is heavily inspired by Miley Cyrus and her Bangers era, which is basically when Miley went from, you know, like Hannah Montana, all of that, to like straight up Wrecking Ball.
I was like, this is what I want. She is my #1 idol. I was like, I want to do what she did with Bangers. I want to have that moment. And I mean, look, I'm flattered that the world even can compare that. That's crazy.
I guess there is some similarities, you know, both child stars kind of going into this mental period, but I don't feel like Karma is getting compared to the songs that Miley Cyrus released. Like, Miley Cyrus during that Bangers album released bangers. It was called Bangers and it released bangers. Whereas I don't think Jojo's song is a banger. I just think the entire look of her is trying to replicate what Miley did, and that's the reason that some people are comparing this to that. Like, one big major thing of the Miley Cyrus transformation was she wasn't trying to be anyone else. She was just being herself, and that's what made it like so provocative. That's why people got behind it. She was just doing her thing and it felt like natural to her. And I'm like hyper aware as I'm doing this video. I don't want to like appear to be like what the boomers were like when Miley went through that transformation, you know, when they were looking at her like, what the bloody hell she doing crashing into that wall, the bloody prick. Do you know, I don't want to be like that. But I just feel like my reaction to this transformation isn't being like that because this Jojo rebrand just doesn't hit the same. Like again with Miley Cyrus's Bangers transformation, you felt like she was jumping into it with 2 feet. Like when Miley Cyrus did that Wrecking Ball video, I was genuinely like listening to that song, whereas with this Jojo song, I don't know if it's because I'm older or if I don't know if it's just because the song isn't as good. I'm not going to listen to this song in my spare time. In my opinion, I just feel like Jojo's doing this rebrand and doing her songs like this because she feels like it's industry ready, rather than who she actually believes that she is as a person. I know it sounds stupid, but even the things like when she was wearing the fake tattoos, it's like she's not fully committing to it. Like wearing fake tattoos is fine, but when you're trying to portray yourself as this person, like you not jumping into it with 2 feet, it just doesn't kind of sit right with us. And it's interesting that Jojo is heavily inspired by Miley Cyrus because apparently the song Karma was originally made for Miley, but she actually scrapped that song. We know this because a popular Miley Cyrus fan account heard from a reliable source that the song Karma's a Bitch was actually in the works. And this was around the time that the Bangers album was due to come out. Then Miley and the record label basically confirmed this rumour on Twitter when they both had an exchange. And just for further proof of this record label Rock Mafia are actually credited on the Karma song from Jojo Siwa. And just on the note of using music that was made for somebody else, Jojo apparently did this again as she recently released a teaser for another song that's going to be on the album. As this song apparently belonged to this TikToker. So they're basically the same song, right? They sound so similar, which is completely normal. I get, like, people do sell songs to record labels and they get money in exchange for that, for other artists to use. However, this particular TikToker did say that she didn't sign off on Jojo using the song, but again, we don't really know what was going on with the contracts at that time, so I don't want to like put that set in stone. However, what this does reiterate to me is that all of these songs that Jojo is going to be releasing aren't like a experience of her life. You know, she feels like this is all what people want to hear rather than what she wants to put out in the world. Like to a record label or to the people producing this song, it's much less risk to use somebody like Jojo Siwa as an industry plant, as she already has like a massive audience, than trying to grow like somebody who is unknown from the ground up. And this like moves me on to my next point, because I just don't know who the target audience for Jojo is. Like, who do you think it is? Like, genuinely, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts in the comments. As she said, it's not for Gen Alpha, who are her kid audience, because she clearly said with all the warnings that this is for adults. So then, is it for Gen Z, or is it for a bit older? Is it for millennials? Like, I don't know who she's targeted, and that's gonna be an issue. I've heard some people say that it's like a lesbian representation, but is this really the representation that lesbians want? I don't really know. Maybe it is. I'm not a lesbian. I know, shockingly, despite the people that keep commenting it. Right? Jojo did kind of give a hint into who her target audience or niche is gonna be.
I wanted to start a new genre of music, and they said, what do you mean? And I said, well, it's called gay pop.
Yeah, I don't think that you made that genre of music up. I don't think that's a new genre, love. Are we just gonna act like Lady Gaga doesn't exist? Have you saw the reaction of gay people when they hear you talk about Lady Gaga? Christ, she might as well be their Princess Diana. To me, love, you need a few more having a penis rumours before you're on Gaga's level. Cause I'd have a voice break. I'm just so excited to be talking about Lady Gaga, guys. She's also said which artists inspire us, so maybe she's trying to go for the same audiences that these people are.
Honestly, I look at some of the generation above them: Michael Jackson, Prince, Elton, Bowie. They are, and of course Gaga. I mean, take all the inspiration from Gaga, but those people for me that were just not afraid. Elvis was the first to not be afraid to be different.
It's the fact like she's trying to put herself, you know, on the pedestal of these people, like trying to say that this is where she wants to be. And you know what? Fair play for aiming high, but to say that you're trying to be on the level of Michael Jackson, Elvis, Gaga, you can clearly tell that she just has a lot of yes people around her because she genuinely believes this, which again, self-confidence, great, I love that, but I genuinely think that she thinks that she's going to be on their level. After I did the video reacting to a TikTok on my Reacts channel, I did consider for the next couple of days, like, how do I think this rebrand's going to go in terms of like the short term and the long term? And it'd be interesting to hear what you think. Personally, I think short term it's going to be doing really well. Like the amount of impressions, she's probably had billions upon billions of impressions in the last week, which is great. For now, it's getting her name out there, but for me personally, I just think long term, I just don't think if the music is on the same level as what Karma is, there's going to be an audience that are going to eat this up. I want to be proven wrong though, because, you know, I kind of do feel a little bit sorry for Jojo, as she kind of has been pushed into this life from a young age. Like, this life was not chosen for her. This life was, like, made for her, and she's just having to keep going along with it. And clearly she's working on the motto of any press is good press, but there's only so long something like that kind of lasts. And I don't know how she's going to cope with people kind of not liking her now, because I know on Dance Moms, like, she had a few people saying they didn't like her, but really, saying you don't like a child is kind of weird. But as Jojo Siwa, a brand before, like, everybody thought she was wholesome, whereas now she's going to be like Marmite. People are either going to love her or absolutely despise her, and that's going to obviously play on her mental health. And just on that note, like, on a more human level, I think I actually do feel a little bit sorry for Jojo, even though she's a millionaire, even though she's got the perfect life that a lot of people would dream to have. The amount of hate that she is getting at the minute, and you've got to remember, she is only 20. Like, she is just a human. She has 2 eyes and 1 arsehole. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's just like everybody else in terms of her feelings. Like, this overwhelming amount of hate has got to play on anyone's mind. I also think that her mother has a lot to answer for. I know that's quite personal, me saying that, but she is always putting Jojo in the firing line, and I feel like sometimes she kind of treats her more of a brand than a daughter in a lot of aspects. Not only did she put her forward to expose her to millions of people from a young age on a TV show without Jojo being able to give her own consent to that because she was so young, and I just hope eventually that she gets the right people around her and she doesn't feel like she needs to do things just because she feels like it's industry ready. Like I can see this in like a couple of years, Jojo being liked again because she'll just go back to being herself. But all in all, I'm just so happy that her audience are loving this transformation. Hey, this song was a life changer. I was actually in a really bad car accident 5 years ago, and I became paralysed waist down. When I first heard this song on the radio, I stood up to turn it off. Of course you did. Hey guys, don't say that Jojo's not working miracles, because just look at this. Hi, your song saved me. Oh. I've been suffering from a severe depression episode. I haven't seen that episode. When Karma came on the radio, I got out of my bed for the first time in 3 weeks to turn it off. Yes! She's basically Daniel Radcliffe at this point. But yeah, please let me know what you think of Jojo's rebrand, and just all of your thoughts in general. I'm going to be replying to comments. And if you would like to see me react to Jojo's entire new TikToks, click right here, because I did a full video on a TikTok rebrand and it's absolutely mental.
Kirkham, baby!